I don't know if they hear it or we hear it.
You don't?
Can you?
You'll find out. Watch this.
You should be able to hear us.
Yo.
Yeah. Can you hear us, Mr. Vaughn?
Good
Yeah.
morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the People's Rebuttal Podcast with your amazing hosts, Zach, Von Solo, and myself.
In the house, baby.
In the house. I'm going to fix my camera while y'all launch this off.
Live.
He don't want to show them beautiful legs today.
You know what I'm saying? He
He
know how to
gonna do it
use it.
live.
Those are
I ain't
fresh-
saying like that.
Those are freshly shaved legs.
Yeah.
He knows how to
Yeah.
use
All
them.
right.
Yeah. Live from the booth. You know what I'm saying?
There we go.
We live from the bunker right now.
Yeah.
It's good to be back in the old bunker with the, with my good people.
Say
you know
in
what
the
I'm saying?
barracks, huh?
In the barracks.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
But you
sir.
got to show off the Urlacher jersey and the
Yeah.
Flozell terrible towel.
Ooh-wee.
Flozell's terrible towel.
Okay.
That was Hope Flozell's favorite year out of all them years he played. Ain't that something?
Say out of all of them, it was one and two, huh?
Huh?
Say out of all of them, it was one or two, huh?
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. It was nice. It's nice. I know he liked it there. Had to, man.
What a way to go out.
Well,
What
and
a
it's
way to
funny
go out.
because as long as I've known him, I have never ever asked him for an autograph. I
don't know
bought
why
that. I bought that at his auction.
Really?
He got
Uh.
mad at me for buying it.
not. He was like, I could have fucking gave it to you.
That's exactly. He's like, I could have given you
I
something. I'm
could have
like,
fucking gave it to you.
That's crazy. I never asked none of my friends.
I've never.
Bro, I just like 4 or 5 autographs just came off, and I never.
I've never. I mean, don't get me wrong. For the Last Legend stuff that we auctioned for,
Charity?
other people, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, sign this so we can give it to charity.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
if he was in a show, it was just part of being in the show. But
Yeah.
I never asked. And it's funny because I'm around when other people ask him, and I'm like,
Yeah,
it's kind of weird, dude.
I never effing thought about asking none
just,
of my friends.
Just friends, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just regular people. Like
Well, and
everybody.
that's not the norm. Everybody goes Cowboys when it
Yeah.
comes to Flozell. So
Yeah.
I'm always that one's kind of cool because
Maybe if he had to play for the Bears, you might like him a little bit more. I guarantee if he played for the Bears, you'd have his jersey up here with a sign. Yes, you would.
he would have asked for that one.
Absolutely.
He'd have asked.
But
for
I
that.
wouldn't have because don't get me wrong. When you're on the field, I'm your biggest fan. But when you're off the field, I could care less.
Zach, you would have got that jersey signed, and it would have
I
been
mean,
hanging.
I got
I bet
Kenny's.
to-
I didn't
I
even
bet
ask.
to-
I bet you it would have been hanging up instead of that fucking Urlacher jersey. I bet you. You did. Am I telling the truth, Mafio?
I would have to say I think I agree.
Come
I
on,
think I
man.
agree.
Come on, man. It's like for really.
For Rizzle,
For
Rizzle.
Rizzle? Yeah, man.
For sure.
I would have put his shit up there too. Fuck Brian Urlacher. I don't know him like that.
yeah, that
I'd
is
have put
not
I
many
would've
people
put-
know him like that.
Yeah.
I knew one of their coaches, and he was like, that dude's throwed off.
Yeah, he probably a cool guy, but I'll put the homies up there before. I don't have any foreign jerseys up in my house either. Just people that I actually knew and I played with.
Okay.
So there's only some people that you get starstruck by when you see them.
Okay.
Some.
Barry Sanders, Jim Brown.
Well, everybody has somebody. Everybody has
Yeah.
somebody. Like we seen Eric Williams the other day. I was like,
You're a
Alright,
giddy little girl.
fuck that.
Fuck that.
I'm putting on my cheerleader skirt right now, and I'm kissing ass. I'll fuck her up. I
Say E-Dub in
Biggie.
the building.
Well, see, it's funny when I got that one signed, I was actually wearing that shirt.
This one
Yeah.
the other day.
No. So when
Oh, you got that one signed.
yeah, when I
Okay,
got
okay.
this one signed, I'd gone because the guy I knew was part of the coaching staff,
Mhm.
and so I was like, bring my. He's like, yeah, Urlacher will be down there. He'll sign it.
Okay. Where were y'all at, sir?
It was at the hotel. It's when the Chicago played Dallas here the second time.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, he had to call me because they had to move hotels. I forget why they had to move, but they ended up
I
moving.
went to that game.
Yeah.
I took Chad to that game.
So I brought my Urlacher and it was a shirt I wore often.
Right.
And I was standing there and is sitting there talking to his dad, and Jessie was their daughter. She went over and had Urlacher sign the jersey. So I sat there and watched him. And while I'm sitting there talking to his dad, Devin Hester and Johnny Knox walked up.
Okay.
And I was like,
that was before he got his ass blew up.
Yeah. It was the year before. Oh, so it was the first time, because the second time they were here was after he got hurt. So it was the first time that they were here. That the last, so not the last one, the time before.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I didn't even bring anything. He's like, sign shirt.
Sign shirt.
So I had to send Jess. She gave me the most hideous.
Is that Brian
T-shirt.
Urlacher's right there?
Yeah.
So as soon as Hester and Knox signed it, I went up to Urlacher and asked him if he'd sign the shirt.
Nice. Nice.
Wearing my hideous, visited Fort Worth T-shirt that she got that was too small.
Who's that on the basketball right there?
Cedric Sabalas.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay, yeah.
And then it's funny because if you go into that case, there's a ton of football and basketball cards. And we were sorting them because Cameron got curious about them. And then I found that. And then the old McDonald Randy White card up there, the second row down, all the way to the right.
Oh, gotcha.
The McDonald's cards.
Nice.
So I had him sign the football and the McDonald's card.
Not old Randy White. He was a damn good player.
Well, Randy White.
What's in the case? That look like a poker case. That's a poker case?
Where?
Right there. That silver one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the GoPro, though. I think that's what's in there.
Oh, okay. Nice.
We're not going crazy in the studio, guys. We're just looking at all the memorabilia.
In the booth.
Yeah, all the different stuff. It's everywhere.
Live from the booth.
It's everywhere.
I won that and didn't even know who he was.
Terrell Davis?
No, Patrick Lindsay.
Man, that's a fake jersey. I thought it was fucking Terrell Davis. They should have retired 30. Wasn't he number 30?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, they had to retire that one. Yeah, Terrell
he
TD.
was special.
Yeah, TD was special.
He
He
was
only
special.
played like 7-8 years.
Good for him.
That's it. Then he was tore up after that.
Hit it and quit.
And then good old Vaughn got me the Peppers jersey.
Yeah.
And then Kenny gave
Sorry, I
me
couldn't
one of
get
his
his
jerseys.
hand. I don't even remember where the hell I got the jersey from. I was sitting up in the house. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give Zach this jersey. It's just sitting up in the back of my closet.
What?
Julius Peppers.
Yeah.
Needs to be
JP.
turned around. See that name.
Yeah. Nice jersey.
Okay, so
NFL draft.
NFL draft.
get
Topic
to
of the
it.
day. NFL draft.
So number 1 is Jacksonville. You played through your senior year.
What, in college?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I only played 3 years, but it was my senior year, I guess. I was a senior in the classroom, just put
Okay.
it that way.
Okay.
But I wasn't a senior on the field.
Gotcha.
But I was ready to go.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So you have to declare for the draft, right? Does everybody just go into the draft?
Yeah, if you had an eligibility, yeah.
So you just you say, yeah, I'm
I
going to
believe
participate
so.
in the draft.
Yeah, I believe that's how it happened. It felt like it was eons ago.
So what
Did
if you're
you-
an underclassman and
They have to declare. But guys that out of time, I think you just naturally just go on over.
okay. I
Yeah,
didn't know
you're
that.
already out of time.
Good
So, but guys who are not, they have to declare
What's
that
up, Michael?
they have to declare that they are, eligible for the draft. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
They have to declare basically that they're not going to be seniors in college.
there you
They're gonna
go.
go ahead and
There
move
you
on to the
go.
NFL.
Okay.
But
There
that
you
was
go.
that was my question. But you just auto.
Yeah, I was
Click it.
already done.
Okay.
So on draft day, were there any you were like,
you know, coming out of a small black school, I think the expectations, you don't really know what they are. You know that they are trying to get you at the lowest price, you know. So I knew if I was going to get drafted, it wasn't going to be high at all. It was going to be like late 6th or 7th round.
Okay.
But the best chance was going to be free agency. That's when the real game started.
Okay.
So when you, so obviously it auto declares. Did you visit any teams? Because I see all these
No.
guys and they visit teams.
Yeah, the big guys, the
Okay.
guys that's projected to go high. Yes.
Okay.
So in the first round, those are the guys, or is it just like the top 10 or
Probably
top 20?
probably the top 10 or 20 guys.
Okay.
Or you might, if you say 20, you might as well say the whole first round. So
Okay.
Yeah.
if you projected to go, yeah, I mean those are major investments for those teams. So yeah, they want to see the guys. Everybody else, you know, you get a little $100,000. They ain't worried about losing that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you didn't have to visit any team, but you know, the higher guys are definitely one of those. So if you're a guy that's going and projected to go between the 5th round of free agency, you might want to take free agency because you can, you know, really just you can have the teams fight over you.
Really?
But
Yeah.
do you have
Let's
a
go to the
choice?
highest bidder. Yeah.
So you have a choice. You can say
Once
I'm
a
not.
free agency. Yeah. You can
You
have
can say I don't want to
3/4.
go in the NFL draft. I'm just going to do it on my own.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm saying if you're in the draft and you go through undrafted,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
you know, or you know, I think the conversations start. You have to have those conversations once it hits like the 5th round. You don't know what these teams are doing,
Mm-hmm.
so there's a great chance that you're going to follow in the free agency. Now you start looking at teams that are interested in you that have already made contact
Okay.
with your agent.
Okay.
So as the draft was going on, more teams was calling.
Gotcha.
They were calling.
Gotcha.
And, you know, it's only 1 or 2 that was really willing to pull the trigger in the 7th round.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I have a question. Once you declare for the draft or you become a senior, to be a part of the draft, is it mandatory you have an agent?
Well, yeah, that was my question. But did you have an agent?
I did.
But I mean, soon as college and
You
you
did.
were
Okay.
declared, you had an agent.
Yeah, I had an agent.
Okay.
We had a guy down there scraping, you know, coming around because we already had a couple of players that had been through the draft previous years, and they found out we actually had some good talent down
Okay.
there.
Okay.
So he would come down, and you know, once you have one guy go to the draft
Mhm.
and actually get drafted,
The ambulance chasers start coming in, aka
our perspective of that agent that helped him is like, yeah, we need that agent. So this agent, once he didn't help one guy, he gonna get all the people that's down there,
Okay.
Yeah.
you know, out of those areas. So
and yes, you have to have an agent.
You have to have an agent.
But the NFL regulates. That was one of the cool things that I found out when I knew somebody who was looking at being an agent.
Mhm.
They're capped at 3%. Now that's 3% on their NFL contract. You know, whatever you choose on your shoe contract or your clothes
Endorsements.
contract, yeah, your endorsements, all that stuff's completely separate. But the
Yeah.
NFL, you have to be registered as an NFL agent. and
Yeah,
the
now.
max you
Good.
can take is
Now.
3%.
and
So
now
they didn't have to do that when you.
no, not at first.
Really?
Not at first, no. Because you guys was getting took to the cleaners.
Of
You know what I mean?
Of course.
That shit that happened to Fred Taylor and them, you know,
What happened to Fred?
Fred Taylor's and a couple other guys, agent I believe was Tank Black. And what was happening was guys were signing over what we call that? What is
Power
it?
of attorney?
Power of attorney. When you turn over, they were signing power of attorney, and these guys were, you know, just taking the money and doing what they want to do, whether it be investments or whatever. But once they signed that power of attorney, they absolutely had no control over that money.
Wow.
And got taken for millions of dollars. And after that, they started the protocol where you had to be registered through the NFL as an agent through the NFL. So they gave us these books, these pamphlets or whatever that had every registered agent
Gotcha.
that was on there.
Gotcha.
And then they also started the well, we already had the rookie symposium, which helps segue guys into the
Integrate
league.
into the league.
Yes,
Okay.
integrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to cut you off. Like, what is that composed of? Like, what
several days of different meetings and different guests that come in that take us through orientations and different orientations about different things. So you got things about financials,
yes,
and some that's about actual situations that you can go through in the league, as far as people coming in and being vultures, or we had this group that came that came in and they did like a little small play. They was role playing
a skit type deal.
Skit.
Okay,
They did a skit of like what could happen in bars and stuff, and guys didn't know. Guys wasn't aware that these situations would happen. So they had women in there. You know what I'm saying? They'll come in like you're at a bar, and bring up different scenarios that could happen to you now that you are quote unquote an NFL player, and people. Once you get that label, now you looked at differently.
Yes.
So, you can get attacked from all different types of angles. So,
what up, Bernard?
They tagged that.
Good morning.
Up,
good
fellas?
morning, and welcome to all the listeners.
Well, I mean, I know like Lawrence Taylor, I saw one of the
It
ones
was
they
more
were
than
talking
3% too. I think it was more than 3% before they signed that deal.
about. Yeah. No, but I'm just saying now.
It
it's
was
capped
more.
off.
Yeah, it was more than that.
But he came in there and talked about how he got ripped off and all the different agents, and a lot of the ex-players, the things that they went through, their family, one of the big ones is, your family always saying, hey, help me invest in this, help me do this.
Right. You just giving money away.
And one of the things that it was it wasn't part of that they were talking that they need to teach was, look, tell them to put a business plan together and then partner them with somebody like them, within that business, because you're already in the NFL. So you may be able to allow them to somewhat partner with you, but actually partner with an outside company.
So is it
that can help fund it.
The player comes up with this business plan?
No. I'm talking. You make it to the NFL, right?
Right.
And you got brothers and cousins and sisters and aunts and uncles, and all of them have these great, brilliant business plans.
Okay, I got it.
Hey, I can't do anything with that business plan. And then find out how and this wasn't part of that. This was what they were talking. They should start putting together, and that is then partner them with somebody who's out in the world who already has that business. Whether it be in a different area, whether it be in that area, looking to expand, and say, okay, rather than me, giving you $50,000.
Yeah, but that's what was happening.
Right. No. Oh, yeah. You hear some of those stories, and it was
that was prior.
Their whole signing bonus
is after the fact.
But those are the guys coming in and telling the stories. This is what happened to me. This is what I did. And I gave them $50,000, and it literally just went down the drain.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what they're doing. I'm going to open up
what you had.
Okay.
I'm going to open up a snow cone shop, and it's
Yeah, well, you got to think about it. What's the demographic of professional sports? It's mostly underprivileged kids and kids that come out of these areas. You don't have any financial
awareness,
intelligence at all. Your mama robbed Peter to pay Paul, or you stayed in the projects.
Yes. We
don't know what the fuck saving money is. You know what I mean? And so everybody's hopes and dreams are riding on this kid.
Yes.
From here all the way up.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so, and as you get the popularity picks up, the expectations pick up from other people besides your mama.
Yes.
Your aunt. You used to stay at my house and shit like that.
Really?
You remember that couple?
Yeah.
Really?
You know why we don't accept anything from customers?
Why?
Because if they could give you a bottled water, now they think you're supposed to hang a TV for free. You're supposed to do all this. But I gave you that bottle. No, wait a minute. You can I'll pee it back into the bottle if you want it back.
Right.
But it's the same idea. I mean,
get it.
I have a little bit of blame for Michael Vick, but Michael Vick is a great example.
Yeah,
Look at what he got caught up in, as part of that whole freaking catastrophe.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, I've met a ton of ex NFL guys, and
Mhm.
it's like, dude, what do you mean you live in an apartment and you drive
Yeah.
a 15-year-old Volvo or 15-year-old Pinto? I don't understand what happened.
And that's not by choice.
No, it's not by choice.
Okay.
And you're, well, it's by choice because that's the money he's got. That's the money that they have. And you're just sitting here looking at it like, wow, I mean, you made all this money and you're in an apartment complex, struggling.
Well, a lot of bad investments too, man. A lot of guys, they had a couple of documentaries that were specifically talking about how players go broke after a period of time. Bad investments, real bad investments. You get into the restaurant business that's so volatile, and you got 2 or 3 houses, that shit go fast.
Yeah.
And then you in places like California and New York, but you stay down south, you know what I mean? So you in that with them state taxes, that's beating your ass.
And I'm glad you mentioned that state tax, because this is something that I wasn't aware about, and I'm still not fully understanding to it. But as a player, you play for, per se, Cowboys, right? But you play 8 different games in different cities. So you pay taxes according to these cities you play in.
You get a W-2 for each state.
Each state.
You gotta wait on them to come.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
You get a W-2 for each state.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. So you might have about 6 or 7 different W-2s come in. Yep.
So if you're playing in Dallas and you go play the Chicago Bears,
you get one from Chicago
and from Illinois.
Yep. You're on a different pay rate once you go there.
Really?
How is that? So wait a minute. How does that make any sense? So if I worked for Coca-Cola, right, and I go to a symposium in Chicago, the amount of money that I make while I'm in Chicago, I don't get a W-2 from the state of Illinois for that block of time.
I don't know how you get. I don't know why we got them, but we got them.
Now, with that being said,
we got them
because the whole reason it's where you live.
But no,
because Texas doesn't have income tax.
But
Chicago's not paying.
So
the Chicago Bears are not paying your salary.
So when you came and played in Dallas, your check was higher. When you played in Dallas or Florida, your check was higher
because there was no
state
tax.
income tax.
There you go.
No state income tax.
Yeah.
There you go.
Really?
You
now, I bet you they were like, yeah, can we play Miami and then Tampa and then Dallas and then go back to Miami and then go back to Tampa?
There you go.
So that would mean that your division, wow, that would suck because you got to play in Philadelphia, you got to play in DC, you got to play in New York.
Yes.
Wow. I'd be like, I want my division to be Tampa, Miami, the Houston Texans. I mean, that's the only games I want to play right there.
Yeah, they beating the block, man. They beating the block.
Now tell me this, with that being said, because we are talking draft, was that aspect of different taxes in different states part of that symposium? Did they tell y'all or educate y'all about that?
I don't remember. I don't remember that. I don't remember that part.
How do you remember becoming informed yourself?
About that?
About the different ones.
At the first year when he got his taxes,
he got
W-2s.
Yeah, you don't know.
Because that's
your
crazy.
financial literacy is so fucking low. It's like you see the big number, but you don't see the taxes. You don't see what you're paying your agent. You don't see your mom and them calling you at the last damn minute. Hey, you know what I mean?
I need a new car. My house needs repairs.
You get all the calls, the worst calls ever at the last minute. They cut my lights off tomorrow.
Wow.
Damn. Now you sitting there looking like,
you send them $5 for candles.
There you go.
Yeah, you get all the worst calls, man. So it's
not $5, Zach. At least send them 20
for a candle. You can buy a candle for $1.
Look, you forgot about Jacksonville.
You can get 3 wick
Tampa,
candles.
Jacksonville,
Miami,
the
Houston Texans,
and the
Dallas Cowboys.
That's it. Wait. Yeah, California.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know there's other states without state income tax,
But
but,
that- I
that's
always-
I want.
I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
You know how
I
you-
just learned this shit. I didn't know that was true. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I
you
had guys
do.
like I heard it somewhere before, and I just would ask guys that play different.
Uh-huh.
And it's not just football; it's every sport. So imagine a baseball player. You know what I'm saying? They play 100 and
But how does that work? I
Imagine
mean,
who
how
does.
do they
I have no
justify
idea.
that? Because your
Imagine-
check and your house, if I play for the Dallas Cowboys, don't get me wrong. If I lived in Illinois, you would have to pay Illinois taxes because it's your place of residence.
yes,
But if I live in Dallas and I play for Dallas,
yes.
and it doesn't matter. My checks don't come from the Chicago Bears. Aren't writing me a check. All these other teams, California is not right. God, they got to get fucked out there. They
What?
play in Washington, so Seattle, Washington, the 49ers. That's a fucking the Chargers,
The
Are you-
Raiders,
the Raiders. I mean, you're just getting that's wow.
That's more than 2 fingers. Yeah, there you
You're
go.
getting full. You're getting full.
That's more
No
than-
wonder these NFL guys that are on the West Coast want more money. I got all these fucking taxes.
And not to mention the price of living is higher.
Of course.
Your money go
Oh.
like this. It's like wow. It's ridiculous.
I'm gonna get a little off tight. You hear about
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the Johnny Depp thing?
yeah.
I have.
How did he literally must have been high and drunk for decades because he lost $650 million and then blamed everybody else. And they're like, I'm sorry, you're the one who bought an island, bought a house, bought another house, bought
Is he
another house.
broke?
No, he's still worth $150 million, but it's just the
Shit.
point of how, but yeah, I don't, that is the stupid, because if I work for Coca-Cola and I go somewhere, I don't get taxed differently than my residents.
Now, and see, and if we have any NFL ex players, any sport for that matter, that kind of understand that concept from our listener standpoint, man, call one of our
A-
phones, man.
any-
We'll put
any-
you on because this is-
Anybody who fucking works for the IRS, please, if you are
Yes,
on here and you
anyone
work for the
that
IRS,
understands this.
Yeah.
because it
and can
makes
explain.
no
I forget
fucking sense.
I forget what they called us.
Well, I know what the law is. The law is because you're considered to be a contractor and you're working in a
There you
different
go.
state.
There you
Is it a
go.
luxury
There,
tax
there it
or
is.
something like
No,
that?
no, I know what.
That's not the
No,
Well,
it's not a
no.
luxury.
It's not the luxury.
That's your tax
No,
bracket.
bracket. Yeah, that's a bracket.
Because you are a contractor, you're considered to be conducting business in a
In a
different state.
state.
But and yes, I get a little bit of that portion, but you're still not receiving a 1099 from that
Ah,
state
You're right.
because you didn't get W-2s. You got no, you
he
did
said
get
He got
W-2s.
W-2.
So you were
he
an
was
employee. That's an employee. That's not a contractor. Man, that's
That's
a
something-
lawsuit.
uh,
I mean, especially in Texas,
That's something to consider. Like I've
because
always
you've been through
intrigued
some
by
shit
that.
about the difference between W-2 and 1099.
Well, yeah, I did.
Well,
both
1099
I have
sides.
been, I have
1099
been,
side.
I have
Well-
been in a company who was in
Yes.
I have been in
Yes.
one of those
Yes.
because you can't say. So this was saddled, and since it's been
What's the
over
difference
10
between a
years.
W-2 and a 1099?
So a 1099 means you pay your own taxes,
Right.
and a W-2 is where they withhold.
Right. There you go.
So
Yeah,
in
we
Texas,
had
though,
W-2s.
but in Texas, so in
Okay.
Texas, there's a problem with that. You can't be treated like a W-2 employee and then be 1099. And it actually goes in the reverse as well. And it's actually a law here in Texas.
Yes.
And this is why it is. Let's say, and I'm going to give my example because
Uh-huh,
it's been
uh-huh.
since 2006 since this happened.
Yes.
You need,
Yes.
1099, you need deductions. Thank you, Bernard. So you can't tell a 1099 contractor, I need you to be here at 8:00 in the morning, right? You're not
No,
allowed to
'cause
do
I'm
it.
not a worker.
Right. What you can do is say, we are going to be handing out work at 8 a.m. and put it on a first come, first serve.
Okay.
You don't show up, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
You don't fire, and that is the big thing, and the problem that he was having was he was firing 1099 employees, which isn't possible.
Who was firing that?
The guy I
The
worked
situation.
for,
Okay,
The
gotcha.
situation.
he was firing people for not doing certain things. And when I
Mm.
came in, I was like, you're not allowed to do that. He's like, well, I'm not going to give them work. I'm like, yes. That's when you tell them, we do not have work for you today.
Yes.
That is it.
Yes.
It's not you're fired because you can come back next day. I'm not going to have any work the next day for you, or the
Mhm.
next day, or the next day, or the next. I got to
Okay.
put that up there because it doesn't happen that often. Somebody says some shit like that, but you cannot. Thank you, Bernard.
Okay.
Bernard's been fired before, apparently.
But
Say
you
no
you
more.
can't be fired as a contractor.
As a
It's not
contractor.
possible. I just no longer have work for you.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
And that makes a lot of sense because the entity that I was involved in, that, and it's kind of fresh. I can't really,
Yeah.
but
Same idea.
the way they did it in Texas, we were contractors, so we were 1099, but they had tried to do some type of hybrid where we were 1099 but gave us a W2.
You can't do that.
Oh, they did that. They
Yeah,
did that. And
no.
and that was a whole nother conversation. Maybe we'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
no,
later.
we've talked about
Yeah.
it. Basically, it blew up in their face.
It did
Because you're not allowed to do it in state Texas. You're either
Yeah.
one or the other, and there are rules that you have to follow when you're doing one or the other.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Now I have another thing because and I thought it was always intriguing because of course being a student athlete, college football, I had desires to go to the NFL. But as I learned about a lot of these things, far as the taxes in different states and stuff like that, and the symposiums, and what are they teaching them in these symposiums? I get the situational things, in different atmospheres, but did they do any type of like psychological background on you guys, or studies, or any type of psychological testing?
No. No, this is about educating.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I know this is because I had to
not
go
much.
through.
Yeah.
I went through all the paperwork.
Mhm.
It was Rita that was looking at becoming an
The agent.
agent,
Okay,
and so
okay.
you have to actually learn what that weekend's about. You have to learn what they teach and all that other. This is education. Now, one thing, and I don't know if they're doing it now. When I looked into it 4 years ago, they weren't doing. And one of the complaints from a lady at the front office said the one thing they need to start doing was educating these guys of what their checks are going to look like. She's like,
Right.
because the first check that they get, these guys, these rookies,
They blow it.
pile in. What happened? And then she said, I have to sit down and go, this is your agent's fee.
Yes.
This is this.
Yes.
You're in this tax bracket. And she's like, you have to pull out a calculator to explain. They're thinking my check's supposed to be $1 million.
Yeah.
Who was
Ain't even
FICA?
close. Yeah. She's like, it's crazy that you have to break down this entire check because they don't know where all my money
Because you
goes.
think when you sign $1 million, that's what you're gonna get.
Right.
So-
No, sir.
So
they're
tell
not.
me this: that's the responsibility of the agent to do that?
No, whoever your financial advisor. I mean, you don't have any formal teaching of finances. So I would think that your agent will have something to do with it, knowing that he's a part of what you're going to be signing for anyway,
Okay.
that he would educate you. You would hope that would happen. But was that happening? No. They probably offered some financial services, but
You like,
how many
nah.
of us going to trust somebody else with your money? You know what I mean? How many black kids is going to give this, most agents were white at the time. So
Okay.
it's like, why would you give them, all your money?
Full access or
Yeah.
power of attorney?
Yeah,
shall we
guy,
say.
you know what I mean? Guys just didn't do that.
Are you aware of anyone that signed over power of attorney to their agent?
Yeah,
he
had
has
an
talked about
that's
the
what I'm
Tank guy.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Tank Black.
Okay, Tank Black.
Yeah, Tank Black had a couple of guys that he took to the fucking cleaners, and he took their money, like millions of dollars. I want to say Fred Taylor was a guy who lost over $1 million.
Wow.
From his agent taking his money. You know
But
what I mean?
he actually signed a power of attorney.
Yeah, a lot of guys
They didn't know
signed
the
it.
difference.
They didn't know the difference.
They probably
then.
didn't know what they were signing.
Nah,
Yeah.
they did not. Which is why you have those symposiums and stuff now that are in place,
Yes.
because agents were beating these guys' pockets, like and at a higher rate than 3%.
Yeah.
So they was getting that money plus the money that you was supposed to get paid. So everything that was negotiated, they got paid for. Everything, shoe
Everything.
contracts too, all that shit. Yeah.
But now
Okay.
the NFL has separated it.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
basically said you can only take 3%.
from the NFL
You're
money.
all your other stuff is between you and whoever, but your
Yeah.
NFL, because basically at that point NFL's like, I mean, we told you. You know, we told you 3%. I mean, you can go in there, you can negotiate 5, 10, 15, 20, you know, things like that for,
okay.
you know, other contracts. I mean, if you've been watching the deal of the Lakers, that shit's hilarious
The
about
show?
Magic.
That show is
No.
fucking hilarious. I love it.
You know, Magic is one of the first people that was offered Nike.
Right.
Was
right.
it?
And they were going to give him $1 a shoe and then thousands of shares.
Yes.
And come
Really?
to find out, he because he ended up going to
Converse,
Converse
I
because they
remember.
gave him $100,000 up front,
Really?
but he lost out on
Oh, he
5.2
lost.
billion.
Billion.
That's with the B, not an M.
5.2
with a
billion
billion
dollars.
dollars.
Now, tell
That's
me
how
this.
much it's worth today.
Who was ultimately responsible for making the decision?
Him.
He was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was interviewing different tennis shoe,
Yes,
tennis
yes,
shoe companies.
yes.
Because there were 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
Nike was just some random
Yeah,
dude
just
who
a
walked
company
up to
coming
him.
up that didn't have nothing going on. So he had this prototype shoe, basically, like, this is what we want to do with you. And it got Magic on the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was just up and starting.
Okay.
So when he made that deal, they put the camera back on Phil Knight. He was like, well, he missed out on this opportunity.
Yeah.
Big. You know, he looked at the camera like he missed out big on this opportunity.
And I'm glad this came up. Do they say anything about like with the investments and stocks in these symposiums and
No, not really.
Nothing.
No. Those are different services, man. You can go out and seek your own financial services.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Their job is just to pay you.
Gotcha.
You know?
Gotcha.
But I think in this day and age, I mean,
It's probably a little bit different now.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
because now everybody knows the tanks aren't going to get away
yeah.
with. There's a balance. You know, these Google's around. It's not like when we, you know, like back in the day when, you know, you really didn't know. Google's worth its
That
weight in
changed-
gold when it comes to,
It changed.
you know, how much should I pay an agent? You know, how much should I
Yeah.
do?
It
with
totally
this?
changed the game. So you got to think, we didn't have access to that then.
Yes.
You didn't have access to other guys' contracts. You couldn't see who was getting paid what.
Net worth and all
Yeah,
that.
you couldn't see who was getting paid what, who was stretching the market.
Yeah.
You couldn't see none of that shit. So it was
Yeah.
like, it was everything was in house. You know, all
So-
your negotiations were.
Wow.
So let's start
So
getting
they
into
can
the
hide,
draft.
and then
So-
they can also hide you as a player.
Okay.
They can hide you behind. Like me, I stayed behind, you know, because I wasn't starting, but I was starting every other game. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, you know, they could. It was just really hard to see outside that team. So
When you say hide you,
hide
what do you
you.
mean? What do you mean by
Well, they don't want another team to get you, but they want to keep you.
that?
You know what I'm saying? They want to keep you.
Okay.
So, you know, you as a player, you know, you only stats that you have as an offensive lineman that you can use to bring to the negotiation table is how many starts you have.
So anything you didn't start and you had an amazing game full of
Nigga,
stats,
if you didn't
it's not
start-
counted.
Hell no, it don't count as a
Really?
start. No, you count as a game played, but it's not a start.
Okay,
It's
but
not,
they only
start
consider
matters
starting matters
for linemen.
for linemen.
Because we
Gotcha.
don't have any stats. We don't have any
Of
stats.
course,
So you
of course.
think about how many games I played. The guy got hurt
Mhm.
the first series of the game,
Yeah.
or the second play of the game,
Yeah.
and I played the whole game.
Yes.
You know, without, you know, just missing a couple plays. You know what I'm saying? I can't take that and say, hey, I played. You know, I started. You know.
Yes.
So you got to understand, people in player personnel are agents too, or lawyers. So all these guys lawyers. So you got lawyers knowing lawyers. They friends.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh.
So they can come and hit you with some under the table shit. You know what I mean? In the negotiations, saying, you know, ain't really nobody looking for you. So, you know, you can stay with this team. You know, he didn't work out a deal with the same team for you. But really, he didn't go out looking for other teams because he know this person inside of this organization.
Does that happen at the point are you speaking in regards to when the contract is up and it's
Yeah.
time to re-sign again?
It's time. Well, when it's your decision to either re-sign or go to another team. Yes. It's not like we had the internet and all that flying then.
Yeah.
connections.
Social media.
Yeah, we didn't have all that flying then. The internet was there, but social media definitely wasn't. So.
Okay.
All right, so let's get into our draft stuff. Of course, Vaughn over here talking shit about his guy that just hit the Raiders. I just want to bring that. I'm glad he's not in Green Bay anymore. That saves me from getting hammered every time we play the Packers. So
yeah, man, you ought to.
I'm actually happy.
Sure
You're welcome.
That. Yeah, you're
and,
welcome.
And thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at a few of these players.
I just got a text. Devontae Adams and he said hi. He's in practice with the Raiders. All right, Devontae, we gonna holler at you,
What's
baby.
up, baby? Yeah.
And Chandler Jones. Oh, Chandler Jones says hi too.
What's up, Chandler?
Yeah, from Las Vegas. Okay.
All
My Funky Chiefs fan.
So that's crazy that the draft is in Vegas. I mean, of all the places, the craziness you hear about what happens at these drafts, they choose Las Vegas. I can't imagine how many pregnancies, how many of these guys are already going to be on child support.
They've been dropping meat for a while.
Well,
you ain't got to be in the league, drop no meat.
I mean, you
hello.
All right. So our draft orders, Jacksonville. We're just going to go with a few of them. Yeah. So Jacksonville, Detroit, Houston, Jets, New York Giants, Carolina Panthers, New York Giants go again at 7.
Thank you.
Atlanta
Bears.
Falcons, Seattle Seahawks, and New York Jets. Those are just the top 10. I think it's funny that New York Giants from the
Can
Bears.
you give the people those screen too?
Yes, I can actually. If you want to share the screen, add to stream, and we'll go here. And
this is interesting.
Oh, we're looking at the Word document, aren't we?
Yeah.
There you go. So it's Thursday in Las Vegas, Jacksonville. There's our teams. Jets have 2 picks in the top 10. New York has 2 picks in the top 10. I think it's weird to me that there are not a bunch of wide receivers. We're not talking about any quarterbacks. I mean, you got the one quarterback. What is his name?
So who he play for?
Is that the kid from Pittsburgh?
Kyle is American.
Oh, you talking about it's coming out?
Malik Willis, quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, ain't he out of Liberty? Yeah, he in
Liberty.
He played with Auburn first. Okay, didn't know that. He only 6 foot. Well, I guess you don't have to be tall if you're a running quarterback, right?
Russell Wilson.
And if I heard correctly, I think he's like one of the most talented quarterbacks in the draft.
Yeah, he's projected to go top 10.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you go through these offensive
Morning,
line.
Muscle Mike.
You got offensive line, edge, defensive line. I mean, I'm surprised that there's nobody really, no wide receivers, no nothing until you get a little further down.
Yeah, because people are finally figuring out that offensive linemen are the most important people in not only in football but in the world. Y'all need us to help balance out stuff, baby.
But think about it though.
Safeties and edges.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Like think about the prototypical offensive lineman. You know, you just don't run across them every day.
No,
you understand what I'm saying?
No, you don't.
You can take some talented athletes and turn a safety into a linebacker, possibly, schematically.
Maybe,
but you just can't replace an offensive lineman.
No, you can't throw that safety in.
You know what I'm saying? You can't take a defensive tackle and
make them offensive lineman.
So
it happens sometimes.
So it makes sense to draft those positions, more.
Well, the find a well fine-tuned lineman is you're not going to find one of those as fast as you find a quarterback or receiver.
Exactly.
These guys are already polished. You can find them a dime a dozen. You can go find another receiver.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You go find another guy that can catch. You can find another guy that can throw. Because they always doing it. There's camps all around here. There's thousands of kids through these camps. These linemen shit, you know, you gonna be lucky to
Good
find
luck.
a good one. You're gonna go through a whole bunch of them before you find a.
No doubt.
Well, I did
Yeah.
find this interesting. What is the percentage of first round draft picks that make it in the NFL? It's actually 44%.
Really?
A what draft pick? First round.
First
First
round
round.
draft picks that actually do anything. I mean, I hate to say, Terabalisky, actually, it looks like he's going to be starting in.
Yeah, but you gotta think about it. You gotta think about it, Zach. They look how big the investment is. These guys get ample opportunity to play. It's not like you're gonna be sitting on the bench. You get paid that much, you playing. I don't give a fuck how terrible you
I
are.
don't
You
know.
at least got 1 year that they're gonna be throwaway.
But that's what they're talking
Well,
about.
that's just, but that's in the analytics. That makes sense. That's not even fucking high. You got to think they gave guys like Robert Gallery fucking $18 million, the second pick in the draft. You know what I'm saying? He had to play, no matter how bad he played. He had to play through those games. He played all 16 games. He started.
Is that
Look
because
at
of the
Trubisky.
financial
You
investment?
goddamn right. You
Okay.
goddamn right. Wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Wouldn't you do that? I mean, if you put this much money and your hopes and your dreams into somebody, they're gonna be playing. They're gonna be playing you, no matter how fucking bad you're playing.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if you
No,
have
no,
a backup
I'm not
behind
talking
you, that's a free
Shit,
agent.
I
I'm
gave you
talking
18
about-
million. You're gonna play through this one.
But I'm not talking about
Word.
playing. I'm talking about they play where they got picked. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, obviously,
Yeah,
this
but
is
what's
just his
successful?
second year. Pro Bowl, any of that
So
stuff.
there are some of the most.
But
competitive-
Trevor Lawrence, last year was his first year. You can't gauge him off that. So, we're going to see what Trevor Lawrence. Trubisky, he's now with the Steelers. Looks like he's going to be starting.
What does make it mean? I mean, what do you mean make it in there? That's subjective. That's
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. What do you
No,
mean?
I'm with you on that part. My point, you're missing my point.
I am because I don't.
My
because the
point
question
is things like
how
this: 199th overall pick, 6th round, Tom Brady.
Yeah, but that. But
Aaron Rodgers, 24th overall. He wasn't number one.
But he
Who was
should've
your
been. He
last
was
number
good.
one? Who was the last number one quarterback who actually went in, won a Super Bowl?
Shit. It probably never happened.
Ooh.
It probably never happened.
The best quarterbacks come from the grocery store.
Who was it? Gino Toretta. You remember Gino Toretta
Warren.
that played for Miami when they won? He fucking trash.
Mm.
Tommy Frazier.
What
he didn't do
did
nothing.
what did Emmett go? I mean, not
Nothing.
Emmett. What did Zeke? He was like number 3, wasn't he?
Zeke Elliott?
Yeah.
We got Cowboy fans on here. What pick
Yeah.
was
What pick was-
both of the Mikes? No. Muscle Mike, 49er fan. Big Mike knows. What pick was Zeke Elliott? Let's see. He's number 20.
Number 4.
Number four.
Okay.
Damn, he went high. That's high.
High.
Yeah, so
As
that
a running
means
back.
when you come back, I don't give a fuck if you fat and out of shape. You playing.
You playing.
Absolutely. They wonder why they playing him instead of the other guy. That's the
Say no more.
fucking why.
Say
You
no
know.
more.
Did you see the thing this morning about San Francisco talking about the quarterback and then Garoppolo? Yeah, I
No.
thought this was
No.
interesting. So the GM for somebody was on there. I don't know who he's the GM for, ex-GM. I don't know what he was. But he said when you look at a quarterback position, it kind of goes against what you're saying. It basically says, why are we going to pay Garoppolo $25 million and not start him? And then the guy said, yeah, but that's not what it's about. You still have, who's the quarterback for the 49ers? I guess his second year.
Oh, you talking
The
about
backup.
Trey Lance?
Oh,
Trey
Lance.
Lance.
Yes.
He's like, you got Trey Lance on a rookie contract, so you're not paying him a ton of money.
Mhm.
Even if you pay Garoppolo $25 million, you got quarterbacks out there that are making $40 million a year.
Mhm.
But if you take both those positions, you're nowhere near that. You're sitting at, however much on a rookie contract plus $25 million. He's like, you don't gauge it off of how much you're paying a player. You gauge it off how much money do you have invested in the
In that
quarterback.
position.
Right, in
that
the position.
Yes.
And I
yes,
thought that was
get
a
it.
neat way to look at it. I was
yes,
like, I never
yes.
thought about that. So you can take a $17 million Glennon quarterback, have him as a backup quarterback behind Trubisky, But it's not about paying Michael Glennon or whatever his name was for the Bears.
Yeah.
It's about I take 17 million plus. Now what am I paying Trubisky?
Now you got one
What's
quarterback.
that? That is my deal. And I
Yes.
have
But
a
that's a-
feasible backup.
Yes.
Garoppolo
But
is a
that's-
feasible backup.
But we're talking about quarterback though. My example was a lineman.
Okay.
My example was a lineman. You're not gonna have a guy that's getting paid 17 million sitting on the bench. And offensive line, his ass is gonna play. I promise you.
So you don't think if you were a second year guy and they thought Vaughn is going to be better for us moving forward, we got this guy. So if Vaughn goes down, we still have our $25 million horse, whatever you want to call him, sitting back here. Let's go ahead and put him out
You
there because he
playing.
may be his future. He may be the
You
future.
playing regardless. That's what I'm telling you.
You think?
Yeah. And if we got that $25 million guy out there too, guess what you're gonna be playing? The spot next to him. You ain't playing tackle. You come in to tackle, this guy making 25, you playing fucking guard. That's what you're doing. Ain't no waiting behind. No. If you already got a guy that's getting paid, we just gonna put you next to him. Guess what? You're gonna have to learn how to play this side or the opposite side of what you used to play.
Pay all sides.
Yeah, you
better learn how to throw a
swing.
football because you may have to be a quarterback.
Right.
So if
You got to be a swing. You got to be a swing guy.
So
Now
if
you got to swing from each side.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So if I understand correctly, that same concept that Zach gave about the quarterback
That
position-
makes sense.
Yes, but conceptually, it's the same thing, but you have more linemen.
Yeah.
So now you say, okay,
You can transition around.
yeah,
right.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It ain't no sitting on no goddamn bench. You getting paid that much, you playing. I don't give a fuck how many sacks. So
So do they pay
So-
backup linemen?
yeah, they do. You get paid to be a swing tackle. If you're a guy that can play both sides
Mhm.
and you do a damn good job, coming off the bench harder than starting. To me.
Yeah.
It's way harder. Way harder.
Why
And you got to have a mindset for it because
do
you
you
don't because you can come in the game cold. You don't know when you're coming in. You don't know who the fuck you playing against. You got to prepare for both sides. You see what I'm saying? If you
Oh,
start
most
at left, if you
definitely.
starting on the left side versus the right side, all you're doing is worried about these guys over here.
Mhm.
So you don't even study these guys because I'm not playing over there.
Yes,
As a backup,
yes.
you study everybody.
And see, I get that
You
because
study everybody. Yeah.
one of my most precious strengths as an athlete was watching film of my opponent. I would study these people right here in front of me. I mean, down to the point where, and I'm not prejudiced or anything, but offensive linemen that were white and their knuckles go light or their knuckles
Oh, you already
the
knew.
blood, it was
There's
I would study all that shit, but to not know who my opponent is gonna be, and I'm not meaning team, my opponents.
not knowing if
Yeah,
you're gonna
That
play
is
against
right in front of
tough.
you.
not
That
knowing
is
if you're gonna
tough.
play against them at all. You know what I mean? You just study, you take notes on all of them.
Yo,
You don't absolutely have no idea. You know what I mean? So it's the preparation is just, hey, I'm gonna come off the bench and I'm gonna contribute, period. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you got to take that John Rocker approach when you open the gates, just come out running. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm ready to get in
yeah.
now. But you got to have a mindset for that. So
All right. So, but is there anybody in the draft that you like?
well, how many years have Jacksonville been the number one pick? It's a better question. How many more years they gonna fucking be number one? I'm like, damn.
You know who's right behind them going, whew, glad we're not there.
Cincinnati
Cleveland.
and Cleveland. Cincinnati had more fucking first round picks. I mean, like, damn, are you guys gonna ever be good?
And
But
look
when
where-
you played them, it was like, damn, I see why they look at these guys, man. They look like fucking number one picks. The whole team looked like number one picks. They were built up. They
Yeah.
were,
Young,
young,
Yeah.
strong. I was like, damn, these look like first rounders, but they was overall as a team, it was garbage. That was you just don't know. It's some shit just don't add up.
Why do you think they were garbage with all these number
Because
one
you
picks,
take- you
talent,
take-
prototypes?
Because you take guys based off of what you gotta think. You go to the draft, they strip you down. Motherfucker look like Tarzan. You know what I'm saying? There's a
Uh-huh.
lot of Tarzan looking
Yeah,
motherfuckers out
yeah.
there now. You
Uh-huh.
like that motherfucker look like he can play.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? But it don't translate over to the field. And
Do you think that's because of coaching, not having the
no,
ability?
it's just people. Both, and what type of player that you're getting, mental.
Good at the college, not good at
Yeah.
Oh,
the
the
pro.
psyche is coming back into
Oh
play.
yeah, it's always been
Y-
there,
Y'all know I always speak from a psychological aspect.
but it's always
and
been
how I
there.
look at it. Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
always there, man.
I get it.
Coming off the bench is this.
Yes.
Period. You
Yes.
coming in the game, it's fucking ice cold, and they don't give you no break. You don't get no warm up, nigga. You get right in the game, just like this,
Wow.
just like that. It ain't,
So a good piece of information for all you linemen that's going in, and you may be a swing position. You do you request a what they call it, a stationary bike on the sideline and just ride? Good,
yeah,
just
but
in
you don't
case.
even get that. A
What do you need? An
lineman go
emotional
down.
llama?
I
What
don't
was it?
know.
What was it they did? An emotional llama?
They go down, you going right in. It ain't no taking no snaps. Like the quarterback gets take snaps.
yeah.
No, the lineman go down. Go get him.
And it's quick.
Yeah.
It's quick.
I don't think understand that TV time. Them timeouts go like it's like damn. Yeah, it ain't no warm up.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Trayvon Walker and the Aiden Hutchinson are the two I keep hearing the ton about.
I don't know about. Is that the?
That's the
Trayvon
kid
Walker's
from
number
Georgia.
44, the defense, the edge
yeah.
player. His stock went up in the draft because of how he did in the actual
Championship.
No,
Combine.
the draft
Oh,
combine.
the combine.
He had a really good combine
Okay.
time. He was
Okay.
fast. He looked fluent and stuff.
Okay.
Aiden Hutchinson really had a pretty decent year. You know what I mean? I don't think he looked as good in the combine as Trayvon Walker did.
Okay.
You know, of course, you just take it for what it really is. You know, the black kid is gonna have a lot of natural talent in being. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But Aiden Hutchinson probably is I don't know, he might be the more prepared player. I just don't know if he's going to be really effective. I don't see him just being elusive and having that wiggle. You know what I mean? You got to have something to play edge.
Okay.
You're not going to just wiggle. You know, you love to hear guys say, I can get around you. It's like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, whatever. You don't even have enough wiggle. To make to fake me out, just to even make me use all my stuff. You don't have enough.
Yeah.
You got to have some speed. You got to have some speed and power to, make people be scared of your power and speed.
Okay.
Yes. Guys like, man, when I seen Darrell Russell, no lie, I ain't never seen a guy that big and that agile.
Yes.
That dip and that rip.
Ooh,
the way he get down to the ground.
Yes.
It was unbelievable. And he had power too.
Okay.
So not only was he quick, but he had power you don't see guys like that every day.
Yes, I get it.
And Flozell will tell you, because Flozell got bull rushed Flozell to the back a couple times.
Word.
Like when he first started.
That
guy was, then he'll tell you, man, that guy was powerful, man. He just couldn't get it all together.
Yeah.
But when I first seen him, when he came off the drug suspension, I was like, that's why he got paid.
Word.
Yeah, he was good, but you just don't see guys like that, yeah. So those two guys you had at the top there, so we got two edge rushers going, possibly first and second, right? And then they got the offensive lineman maybe going third.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Oh, that's an edge player too, huh? Kayvon Thibodeau. Yeah, he going in the top 5, buddy. He's in everybody's top 5.
Okay.
What about that? Was he a safety?
Kyle Hamilton.
Who was Evan Neal? Offensive lineman. So apparently he's the top offensive lineman in the draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alabama.
I don't know. After what your boy Leatherwood did last year for the Raiders, I don't know about Alabama lineman.
I'm not familiar. What
we
happened?
took him. The Raiders took him with the first pick of their draft last year. He had a tough season last year. Tough.
And he was one of them ones where he played because he got paid.
Yeah, but he played through. He got better as the season
better.
going.
Good
I was a
for
little
him.
hard on
Good
him
for him.
last. I was hard on him last year, real hard. I was like, "Come on, dude."
Yeah.
He made a lot of mistakes, but he got better. I didn't see him. His production going down. I think his mistakes got cut down a lot.
Okay.
And him and the other guy that plays next to him, I can't remember his name. They got better together.
Was he a tackle or a guard?
He came in as a tackle. when you anytime clear sign, if you get moved from tackle to guard, they let you know you getting your ass kicked.
Say no more.
Shit.
Say no
You see
more.
a lot. You see a guy get drafted at
Say
tackle.
no
He come
more.
in as a guard. Say, man, tackle ain't for everybody. You out there by yourself, dude,
Yes,
and you
sir.
will get exposed by Aiden Hutchinson, or what's that other guy's name? That the other guy's name that plays for Georgia that we were just talking about.
Is it Neil? You at the top side.
No, the what's
Neil.
Trayvon Walker? Is it his name? No, not Trayvon Walker.
Oh.
Yeah, Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get exposed by guys like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, real quick. Real quick playing tackle. Those guys will let you know whether you good or not.
Okay.
You don't really see a quarterback until the 6th pick. And a guesstimate that
That's the kid
Kenny
I was talking
Pickett.
about. That's the kid I was talking. They were saying he was after the other
From
kid.
Pittsburgh?
Yeah. Say he has some pretty good fundamentals. He say he have small hands though. For whatever it's worth.
This is got to be because of the young boys who thought they were studs to get out there.
What our listeners talking about, Zach? Let me see what our listeners talking
I already put it up there.
Yeah, it is, man. It is a culture shock. Because you go from literally being in a room with guys that, a couple All-Americans, all that. You literally go to a room that everybody's All-American. So it's like that shit that you was doing in college, you ain't gonna be able to do that in here, baby. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you're not gonna be able to bull rush me. I'm gonna give you this work today. When we get to practice, we finna work at this practice.
Yes,
you got some work in. It wasn't no patty caking. It was like, you working on
here now.
Yeah,
So you
it wasn't
here now.
dog. It wasn't if you were a small guy, you know what I mean, and you call yourself a defensive end, we going into inside drill with run game emphasis.
Yes.
That's where you're gonna see whether or not guys like Trayvon Walker and Aiden Hutchinson good, because we're not pass rushing no more. We doing emphasis run game right now.
Right now.
Oh man, I used to love little guys like them. It's like, now you can't run. Now you gotta take me on. And everybody watching. And everybody watching.
Yeah.
I remember the first day I got to the Ravens, and they had 2 tackles to go down in one game. Both of them high ankle sprains.
Wow. Okay.
2 tackles. They were playing in Jacksonville. Both of them out.
Okay.
For damn near half the season. For their first game, they called me up. I had been working out at home. I hadn't played in a year, so I came in. I was in great shape.
Yeah.
I get to the camp. My very first meeting. Ray Lewis talks. Fucking inspirational. You hear me?
Yeah.
You ready to run through the wall?
Yeah.
I was like,
Ray got
you. I'm ready to go with no tape,
all that shit.
no painkillers, no nothing.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
nothing.
Yeah, I was like, he's gifted, like leader to talk.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We come out of the meeting. Coach says, you starting. I said, what? I just got here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know none of this. So I'm looking at the playbook or whatever. And no, he said, be ready to go tomorrow. That morning when we came out, I wasn't even on the field. He said, you're starting today. And blah, blah, blah. We get into the pass blocking drills. You know what I mean? I'm out there giving some work. You hear me? Work.
Yeah.
I've been on the bench for a while at the crib. I'm out there working them hands. You know?
Yeah.
And then we separate and we go to run game emphasis between tackles and defensive ends.
Yeah.
So they took the tight ends with us.
Okay.
So we had the tackles and tight ends versus the defensive ends and outside linebackers.
Okay.
And so we had combination drills around about. So I can't remember this guy's name. He was one of their speed rushers they had. They put him in front of me. I'm just like, I'm finna tear his ass up. I was already 30 years old. Then I was like, I'm finna beat your ass. Yeah, I'm like, ain't no way. You ain't felt no shit like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I played guard and all them years I've been hitting it. I was like, I'm finna get him.
Yeah.
So we get out and I stance. Man, I must have clubbed that motherfucker. Oh my God. I got up under him and I must have chunked his ass. Oh, it was good. And they had the camera right on top of him.
Yeah.
So we in practice, not practice.
Film session the next day.
It wasn't film. Yeah. No, Coach Harbaugh put in the best stuff through practice in the team meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he
okay,
showed
okay.
all the one-on-ones. He
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
these
yeah,
are some
yeah,
of the
yeah,
highlights
yeah.
for one-on-ones
yeah.
today. You know, because you don't get to see other guys what they're doing in other
Of
positions.
course.
He put that shit on in front of the team, right? So
Yeah.
we going through the tape. Oh, this guy's out there getting that work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The DBs and the receivers,
Uh-huh.
they out there getting that work. You know what I'm saying? Then we get to the linemen, and they show me. And I blew this guy up. I mean, blew him up good.
Yeah.
It was my first day.
Word.
And I got up and I gave him that look.
Yeah,
You know, after
yeah,
I hit
yeah,
him, I was like,
yeah.
and Ray Lewis was back. He said, "Oh, hey, rewind that tape."
Right.
He said, "Rewind the tape." He said, "Who that is giving him that shimmy out there?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
And my homeboy I played with the Raiders was on the team too. He's
Okay.
like, "That's Big Von back then in the
Yeah.
back."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it
What
felt
Ray?
good.
What Ray tell you? Move up to the front.
Nah,
He ain't
nah,
tell you
my locker was actually right next to his. So
Okay,
they put me
okay.
in between him and Lorenzo Neal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Good
they
deal.
was a couple older guys, man, and Lorenzo Neal. All those years we played against him when he was playing with San Diego. You know, it was good to be on the same team with him. He was a funny guy. He nicknamed me Tootie.
Tootie.
You know why?
Why?
You know he played fullback, right?
Uh-huh.
So he told me when I was in my stands, my butt was always high, like it was tooted up.
Tootie up. Toot that thing. All righty, Tootie.
That's a new one right there.
Yeah, he called me Tootie.
And did he hide behind that toot though?
Nah, he always told me I'm coming right behind
Come
you, Tootie.
right. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, I'm coming right behind you, Tootie, right off your ass.
Hey, he was a monster though.
What?
He was a
Yes.
monster.
And he looked like Ram Man from He-Man. He looked just like him. He didn't have no neck. He had a cowboy collar on, and he was just out there for pure destruction.
That's it.
That's it. He was a concussion king.
Giving him or receiving
Given.
him? Really?
Given.
I
Oh,
can
he got
imagine.
knocked out too a couple
I can
times
imagine.
too.
Yeah.
A guy when we played them when I was with the Raiders, guy that I think it was Marcus Anderson. Yeah, he knocked him out. He was a safety though. That motherfucker ran from the safety depth, and that hole opened up out of there.
Wow.
He hit him good too.
Wow.
But he had a 15-yard head start, you know. So you can just only imagine the collision.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Is it time already?
That's it.
Oh man, time fly when you
Live
have
from the
fun.
booth.
From the booth. From the booth.
From the booth.
Again, we just want to thank all of our listeners. I thank all my co-hosts. It was another amazing, a very insightful podcast. And if you guys know some young guys that's going to the draft or desire to play football at any level, man, please share this because, again, I learned so much. So I could just imagine how it could
I
be.
learned taxes. What the hell?
Yes.
Man,
Yes.
it's unbelievable.
We need to
man.
have our own symposium.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Hey, we might have a service for that, but that's a whole
Yeah,
nother
there you
conversation.
go.
But again, thank you all for joining us for another amazing episode of the People's Rebuttal Podcast. And until next time, Vaughn, you want to hit them with how they can keep up and follow?
Yeah, absolutely. Catch us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Like, subscribe, and share.
Yes.
And let us know your thoughts, baby. Tell me how you feel.
Yeah. How about you, Jack? Got anything you want to
Good.
say? All right. There it is.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.